Hey everyone, welcome to my live. I'm raw chef Yin, a raw vegan chef based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And today we have a very special guest, Kathy Hester, who is going to do a live demo for us. So Kathy and I are both contributors to the Ultimate Health and Weight Loss Bundle. And yeah, there she is. Okay, let me see. Let me just add Kathy on. Hello, Stemucated. Hello, Memories.
Okay. Let
Hi,
me fix.
Kathy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy
There
excited
we go.
to watch your demo. Actually, yeah,
It's going to be interesting because I'm used to having a multi-camera setup instead of my phone, so I may hold things up more. We'll see, or do
yeah,
the
yeah.
phone back and forth. So I
Right.
apologize for that. How are
No
you
problem.
in
No problem.
it's morning where you are, right?
Yes, that's right. It's 9 in the morning, so it's not too early. It's okay for me.
Okay.
Yeah, this
Happy
is a good time.
Monday.
Thank you.
It's about 8 p.m. in the United States. I'm on the Eastern Coast,
Right,
so
right.
in Durham, North Carolina.
Oh,
But
okay.
when I was putting some things together too, I was thinking we may have to talk later because I wonder if we could do like a switch on some things. I bet there's some things that are easier to find in Malaysia that
Mm-hmm.
I can't
Mm-hmm.
find, and maybe some things I can find here. Or you guys just have everything. That could be the truth too.
Well, yeah, let me know what you have and I can maybe suggest some substitutions as well, or we can play around with that. Yeah.
Perfect, because there may be a couple of things in here. So what we're going to do is, and I made a batch earlier, we're going to make this batch now too,
Mm-hmm.
is this looks like nothing, right? But we're going to make this really rich, creamy cheese sauce from it. So what
Oh,
we're going to do is
nice.
we're going to make the powder, and we can talk, there's always substitutions for everything. And then I thought I'd make a really quick oat milk to cook the
Mm-hmm.
sauce with because it's
Okay.
so easy. And are rolled oats easy to find in Malaysia?
Yes, it's really easy. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. And so let me try.
So Kathy, would you like to just maybe introduce yourself a little
Oh,
bit first, just in case, yeah, just in case my audience hasn't heard of you before.
oh, of
Um, I,
course.
I know you have 10 vegan cookbooks, so I'm and so I know a lot of
Did
people know about you, but just in case those who don't.
Oh, of course. No, and I don't see what's so funny to me is I never think anybody knows me. And I'm just like, oh, they want to see the food. They don't need to know about me, right? Because that's why they're really here. But I'm Kathy Hester. I did my first cookbook in 2010, which was the vegan slow cooker, and I've done a bunch since then. And actually, let's see, over here I have it. This recipe was in Outrageous Oatmeals,
Oh, that's
actually.
such a cool name, Outrageous. Did you come up with that?
Uh, I think
Or
that
was it
was
your
my publishers.
publisher?
I,
Okay.
I could have been one of my testers though, because that was a while ago. And in the plant-based community, they really love that cookbook. And I think oats are magic. There's so many ingredients that are magic, like, but oats, you can make milk with it, you can make cheese with it. I make crumbled sausage, pepperoni crumbles, and
Ooh.
in the bundle, I have a class, which basically I think is about a 2.5 hour class that's on video. You can watch as much as you want. You get the recipes as well. And I make 6 mixes. And I
Mm-hmm.
make this cheese mix. I make a creamy gravy or creamy sauce, which is kind of like you can make an Alfredo sauce from it. It's
Mm-hmm.
all from simple, plain ingredients, mostly oats and some spices. I do two gravies, which is a white gravy, which is a southern U.S. specialty. So it's just kind of rich and creamy and has some little bites of pepper. And then I have a golden gravy mix, which makes kind of like a yellow chickeny kind of gravy. Here in the States, when you grow up and you go to school, you get these weird chicken patties at school, and
Okay.
they have this gravy over it. And
Right.
my wife was craving it. She goes, I really want that gravy. I'm like, I can make that for you, right?
Yeah, Chef AJ, I watched I watched 3 of your videos on Chef AJ's show, and Chef AJ was saying like you can make anything and everything. So
I I kind of can. I feel, I love to be kind of like a mad scientist in the kitchen and figure things out. And it's just really fun. And then I made a dry vegan chickeny bouillon and a beefy bouillon. So all of these dry things are shelf stable. So you don't have to have room in your fridge or your freezer. And it's really nice. And if anybody wants to see some of my other recipes, I have 2 blogs, healthyslowcooking.com, which is not all slow cooking. That's a long story. But that's what happens when you have a 12-year-old blog. The world changes. And then I have Plant-Based Instant Pot, which is all Instant Pot cooking.
Right.
You guys in Malaysia, a lot of different places got the Instant Pot before we did. So do you have?
I don't know, because I'm high raw, so I actually don't use the Instant Pot. Yeah, but I was actually in the US for 1 month in 2020, in February to March, just before all the lockdowns happened. And I remember like seeing Instant Pots everywhere.
Instant Pots and air fryers, and I think both came like over where you are to Europe, then to the United States. So I think we get it last.
I think, yeah, air fryers definitely, because every time I do a class, someone will ask me like, oh, can I do this in the air fryer instead of the dehydrator? I get that question every single time. And I don't have an air fryer either, because I have 2 dehydrators, I have spiralizers, I have food processors, I have the Vitamix, but yeah, I don't have an air fryer. So yes, air fryer was very popular. Yeah,
and it's a neat appliance. And I have I wrote an air fryer cookbook, so it's vegan cooking in your air fryer. But many of them have a dehydrator function. It's not going to be to the level that you probably use it. You're going to use the minutia to make all those wonderful textures. Whereas I'm like, I don't like cherry tomatoes, so I slice them in half and put them in the dehydrator, and I make tomato powder.
Right.
That needs no finessing. I just dry it till it's crunchy. But yeah, and I teach live cooking classes twice a month where you can attend live or watch it later. I have Kathy's Cooking Club. If you're interested in that, you can go to kathyhester.podia.com. And if you have any questions about anything that you see today, feel free to email me at kathyhester@gmail.com. Okay, now I'm going to try and switch the phone.
Cool.
I'm 5'1", so this is like I'm on my tippy toes.
Oh.
Can we see that? Is that helpful?
Yep.
Okay. I'm like, can I see that? Okay, here we go. All right, so there's some pretty simple things in here, and I'm trying to look under so I can make sure I'm showing you something that you can see. So it's 1 cup of rolled oats.
Okay.
3/4 cup of nutritional yeast. And is this something that's easy to get in Malaysia?
We can get it from the organic shops. It's not that well, because I live in Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital, so it's actually quite easy. Yeah. But if we can't get it in the shops, we can get it online as well. So it's not a huge problem. The only thing is that some of my students are allergic to nutritional yeast. Yeah.
And we can talk about that too, because the nutritional yeast makes it really cheesy, but we can make a different umami sauce with this without the nutritional yeast by adding extra tomato powder and mushroom powder.
Oh, nice.
So it'll still be a delicious sauce. So this is my tomato powder, or you could put in here just sun-dried tomatoes. And actually, because I like tomatoes, don't get me wrong, I just always seem to get 80 bazillion of these in my CSA, and I just what I do is I take those and put them in a spice grinder, and then you can use this in other international recipes for instead of like tomato paste or things like that. And it just gives a really big pop of flavor. I'm going to talk
Yes.
about one thing that you may or may not have there. This is vegan lactic acid, and I'm going to give you some alternatives for it too, so don't worry. And this is what it looks like. It's made from non-GMO sugar beets. And
Okay.
what it does, so I'm going to take a little pinch, and it's almost like on your tongue, it gives a little bit of sharpness, like sweet and sour candies or
Right,
citric
right.
acid. And what it does is it gives it a little extra bite that will give you some of that cheesy sort of feel. It does not taste like cheese. You could use citric acid. You could use like dried lemon peel. Or
Okay.
you could even add some vinegar of different kinds. It could be rice vinegar, apple cider vinegar, almost any vinegar as you cook the sauce.
Right,
So,
right.
and you know what? You can leave it out too. So it's not going to kill it if you can't have that. So we've got smoked paprika. And if you hate smoky flavors, just use regular.
I love smoked paprika.
Oh, I love smoky everything. Where I live in the South, that's what is so much of our flavor profile. And so I have different liquid smokes. I have some that are pure as well that have no additives. We've got some dry mustard, and you could use a condiment mustard as well. I've got garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper. And then this is my kind of salt-free seasoning blend that I've made. You could use any one. If you use salt, you feel free to add salt to taste as well.
All right.
And another thing for your people who may, I think this is going to put it up too high. Let's try this. Oh, there's going to be a lot of movement. Woohoo! So another thing to do to make a very plain, I call it plain salt substitute, because a lot of things like even this have some different spices and stuff. So I use 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of ground celery seed, blend it together and use in place of salt. And I'm just going to blend this up. And it doesn't even require a whole lot of blending. And
so you're just blending that in your Vitamix, right?
Yeah, and you don't have to have a super high-powered blender either. It's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
And
what number did you put your knob to? I mean, like the blending. Yeah.
I went all the way up to 10.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So I just usually start out a little bit slow. And I'm just going to put this in here, and we'll make, actually, I forgot. Because I'm going to use it for the sauce, I'm not cleaning out this blender. And I'm just going to make a quick oat milk. And by quick oat milk, I mean like half cup of rolled oats, about 2 cups of water. Since we're going to use it immediately, we don't need to add anything like chia seeds or anything like that to help it not separate. And we don't want to blend the oat milk too long or it'll get slimy.
Right, yeah.
So my goal for this is not to make all these little flakes go away, unlike some other things. So what I'm going to do is take my fine mesh strainer and find a spatula, because I did not put a spatula over here. And I find with oat milk, using a nut milk bag also helps it get slimier. There we go. And so most of it's going to pour through. And probably this, and we could even take this sediment, we can either put it in something like you would probably make crackers or something amazing raw, right? And because I did this so quickly, I could even make another batch of milk out of this one in particular. So usually what I do is I just take my spatula and move it so the liquid can come through. This you can put in breakfast cereal, make dog cookies. You can dry it and grind it and use it as oat flour. So there's really no waste. And so that's not bad for 10 seconds
Yeah, it looks
worth
good.
of work. Will it separate in the fridge? Oh yeah, absolutely. Let me take you down a little bit more. There we go. So the first thing we're going to do is take about a 1/4 cup of our mix, and we're just going to toast it lightly. Because right now those are raw oats. So I usually do this on kind of a low, medium, low temperature. The induction burner is not always the easiest one to do that. So how you know it's done, and you're going to see the back of my head probably. Smell it now. What you smell is the nutritional yeast and a little bit of garlic. As this toasts up a little bit, the oats are going to turn nutty. They're going to get kind of a roasted flavor. They're really going to blossom. The spices are going to blossom as well. And that's just going to give you a more complex flavor. And that's part of the magic of oats. And in fact, I make an oat parmesan that I take the oats, I toast them until they start smelling nutty. And you'll just have to keep smelling them little by little. And then I mix that with nutritional yeast, and you could use salt or salt substitute depending on what your diet needs and what you follow. And see, already I can smell it just go up a couple of, I think of it almost in colors, right? So we're not going to see this turn 2 shades or anything like that, but smelling wise, it'll start here and feel kind of not like much. It'll blossom a little bit, and then it'll get really blossomed up. And
Right.
you can trust your nose on this for sure. Yeah. And you can start smelling like those darker tones that are often associated with umami, even though this isn't quite umami. My nose picks it up as the same, if that makes sense. I have a weird nose. Yeah, that seems about right. And then we're just going to start pouring in some milk, and it's going to be whisk. It's too dry, it's too wet. It's too dry, it's too wet. And you're going to get it right in the middle. So we're going to use between 1 to 2 cups. And if at any time in the beginning, this is going to look super clumpy, and it's okay. Even if at the end it looks too clumpy, maybe I got lazy and I didn't grind as long as I could, or I used a less powerful blender, I can take this whole sauce and put it back in the blender and blend it perfectly smooth if I want to. But it gets pretty smooth because the oats and the liquid actually cook up, right? So it even kind of mouthfeel wise, it opens up. So see how it looks like you're like, oh, it's going really fast. Let's add some more. And you can make this ahead of time. It is going to continue to cook and thicken up after you take it off the heat. So when you take it out of the fridge, you're going to be like, that doesn't look nice. But I promise you, put some more water or non-dairy milk in there and heat it up just like this, and it'll be just as good. But one of the things I love about this is how fast it is. Think about this. We not only made the mix, we made milk and the sauce in just a few minutes.
Yes, that's right.
And you can put this, oh, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, I was just curious, like, do you ever make any raw sauces?
You know, I make a lot of cauliflower sauces, so I tend to steam those a little bit first. But I do make some with cashews. Is that kind of what you're thinking of? Like,
I think I was just wondering, like, how can we take yours? I mean, okay, so it's quite funny because raw oats, it depends. I'm not a purist, so I use raw oats in my raw cooking. Although some of the pure raw vegans will say that it's not raw because the oats are actually steamed. But I was just like looking at your recipes, and I was wondering, like, how can I do this without, heating it up above 45 degrees Celsius? I'm wondering whether I can put it in the dehydrator and let it dehydrate or something.
Oh, that was a bad move. see half of me. None of me or half of me. Okay. So now I feel like I'm talking to you more. I've taken this off the heat too, just so you can kind of, I mean, it's a really nice creamy sauce. I do one that's in the blender, and I don't know how high it heats up. So you could do the same thing for this. And then I want to remember to tell you how to make this into a queso.
Okay.
So what I do is and this is on healthyslowcooking.com if you look up queso, because I love queso. So I have one made with cauliflower, one made with potatoes, which are obviously cooked. The oat one does use rolled oats. You might be able to use steel cut oats that are soaked, but I think it still might be too grainy. But if you're okay with rolled oats, so
yeah, I'm okay with rolled oats. Yeah.
Rolled oats, nutritional yeast. I use jalapeno powder. You could use some other seasonings, and I use half a teaspoon of organic cornstarch. I believe you can use arrowroot or tapioca starch, not positive. And then you put it on the blender for about 2 to 3 minutes. So it does get warm, but I don't know if that's past your temperature.
Okay.
It may not be, because it doesn't take that long. So what happens is it looks like it's liquid. It's just like, and you're like, that lady lied to me. She's crazy. And then what happens, it goes for a while, and then you'll hear it go, hear it kind of come down that tone because it's getting thicker, and then you stop. And 9 out of 10 times I do a little bit too long listening for that one sound. And if it gets too thick, just add some more water.
Right.
So I think that would be closest. And I think you could do, we could also just try it. You want to try it and see what happens?
Oh yeah, let's try it. If
try it.
I have time, and if you have time, you can.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I'm just going to grab some water from over here in the sink.
Okay.
And
so maybe I'll just let so for viewers who just tuned in, we are watching Kathy Hester do our live demo. We are both contributors to the Ultimate Weight Loss Bundle, which is taking place right now, and it's going to end in 3 days time. The bundle, if you get the bundle, you will get digital e-resources, cooking classes from Kathy, my raw vegan ebook. There's fitness workouts, there's breath awareness training classes, there's yoga classes, there's meal plans, there's loads of ebooks, there's more cooking classes. Everything is oil-free, and it's only $49. If you buy everything separately, it would be something like $4,700. So this is a great time to get it. And if to start your plant-based journey, or if you've been plant-based for a long time, you can always just get loads of ideas. I've been trying out so many recipes from the bundle, and I've had so much fun with it.
Many cool things, right?
Yeah. I actually counted yesterday. I was like, wow, I've already tried like 24 recipes. And there's so much more that I want to do as well. So
I'm going to mute myself because this is going to blend for a little while, and then we'll see if I have to add anything else to it or not.
Okay. Yeah. So if you guys are interested, you can check out the link in my bio, or you can check out the link in Kathy's bio to see what the bundle offers and see whether it's the right fit for you. So Kathy is trying out to see whether whether we can make a raw-ish sauce. Hello, Ellie. Hello, Dr. Shaida. Hello, Let's Vegan. Oh, so if any of you have any questions, there is a question box in Instagram. Just tap on that and ask the question, and we will help answer as best as we can.
So I just kind of wanted to show you this stage. So it's really thin right now. But I'm also wondering, it still would be pretty flavorful. I'm going to let it go a little more. It has not heated up at all because it's winter here. So it's a little bit.
I see.
So I'm probably going to just mute for a minute or two if you want to talk about the bundle or something. I feel bad about this, but I just don't want to torture you. because it's really loud.
Yeah, I think I noticed just now, I think Instagram did kind of like lower down the volume or something like that. It sounded that
Is that
way, I'm not
okay?
sure.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
turn it on and maybe wave at me if I should turn my sound off again.
Oh yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, it's a bit loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit loud. Okay. Joshua Johnny says, yeah. So for those who have gotten the bundle, do you have any questions? If you do, let us know as well. The downloads are available. Most of the downloads, most of the ebooks and courses, you have up to a year to download. Some of them are actually live classes as well. So do look out for that and check out the dates and timings for that, because we have, yeah, Dr. Neil Bernard is doing a live class, I think March 24th, if I'm not mistaken. And then, yeah, there are also like lots of contributions from plant-based doctors as well. So, you know, there's Dr. Furman, there's Dr. McDougall, there's I watched one of the lectures by Dr. Michael Clapper. Yeah, so I tried out 2 recipes from Dr. Furman's intermittent fasting. Ebook as well. Yeah, that was really nice. And then yeah, so it's not just the vegan chefs and vegan creators, but there's also a lot of yeah, really good information from doctors as well. Yeah, lots of stuff from doctors. That's what someone was saying. Yeah, and then I did the 30-minute breath awareness class by Jill. So that was a lot of fun as well. I did it together with my boyfriend. So we were in the park and we did that. That was great. And yeah, I think for those who are into living foods, Chef James Sand has a really good course on Living Foods 101. Lots of videos, lots of really good recipes on raw vegan and high raw. No, and he has also some gently cooked recipes as well. So yeah, check that out.
It thickened
How's it
up
coming
a
along?
little bit, I think, and it's smoking. So this is probably as high as you
Ah,
would want it to be.
right, right. Oh.
So I'm wondering if we put less water. I used a 1/4 cup of mix and 1.5 cups of water. I'm wondering if we did like a 1/4 cup of mix and maybe like try with a 1/2 cup of water first.
Yeah. So less
Now,
water.
what I can do, are you able to have any kind of, because I don't know about the processing for like organic cornstarch or organic arrowroot, because are those cooking
Um,
processed
we
anyhow?
usually don't use that, but for thickeners, what we basically use chia ground chia seeds or ground
Mm-hmm.
flax meal or Irish moss paste. So those are
Okay,
the 3 thickeners that I usually use. Yeah.
let's put in some flaxseed then. What do you think, about a tablespoon, or you think less?
Yeah, a
This,
tablespoon.
okay. See, this is what I love doing anyhow, is experimenting and seeing what happens. You know, because that's the best part of like doing
Yeah.
cooking.
I'm always change. Yeah, I find that sometimes when I record my videos, my demo videos, and I'm making this halfway, and I'm going like, oh, why don't I put this in? Why don't I put that in? If I add that in, that would be fun. That might be interesting. So yeah, I know what you mean. Hello, Shu Hilin, and hello, Sucheta. Thanks for joining us. We are doing an experiment right now. So you can see how Kathy develops her recipes in real time. Maybe we need some intermission music. Hello, Cindy Reed.
Okay, let's take a look at that. It might need some more time. I'm not, you know more about the timing of thickening with
Oh yeah, you
flaxseed
may
than
need
I
to
do.
let it. rest a bit.
It's definitely thickened up though. Already it's maybe twice as thick. And I'm touching the sides of the blender because I feel like if I can touch it, it's probably within your okay range.
Yeah.
That's why I keep touching it, because I want to not cheat. I'm trying not to cheat. Doesn't mean I'm not. But yeah, I bet too, because it does have just a tiny bit of heat. I mean, it's interesting. The flax does add a little different flavor to it. So if I added the flax, I probably would up the amount of mix, because we already talked about doing that anyhow. And maybe even adding just a little extra nutritional yeast, maybe per batch to taste, to kind of even out that flavor.
Right.
But yeah, I like the color on it. The flax made a really beautiful color.
Yeah,
and
it's a nice color.
Yeah, I've used chia seeds to thicken. I make these ice creamless milkshakes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, and actually, I usually use oats at home. You can use nuts or anything else you want as well. I like oats because they're cheap.
Okay.
I also make a pecan pumpkin with spices, which is a little more of a treat because those are more expensive. So you just take maybe a handful of oats, a couple of cups of water, blend it together, then add whatever flavoring. So let's say I wanted to make a chocolate milkshake, and you could add some cacao powder, maybe like a tablespoon, however dark you want it to taste, a little bit of vanilla, a couple of dates, and about 1 to 2 teaspoons of ground chia seeds. Probably start out with 1 teaspoon. Grind that all together till it's nice and smooth. Taste it. Make sure you don't need to add more vanilla, or add another date. Then put crushed ice in. Blend it together, and it'll turn into a milkshake, and the chia seed will help hold it together the way that xanthan gum holds together frappuccinos at Starbucks.
Nice. I should try that because my boyfriend loves milkshakes and chocolate milkshakes and anything chocolatey. So
I like the strawberry one. So then and sometimes you can put frozen strawberries instead of part or all of the ice. And it's just, it's really an oat strawberry smoothie, but it seems more decadent.
Yeah. Cool. Nice.
Yeah, so I think that works, and I love the fact that I'm learning from you too, because I think that's one of the cool things about the bundle is that we're all learning from each other too. It's kind of cool.
I was listening. So yeah, I was saying that I was listening to I was watching your videos with Chef AJ, and then I heard you talk about things that I was like, oh my God, that's like me. Because I think you were talking about using black cardamom, and then you were talking about going to the Asian markets, and then you were using togarashi as well, and I was like, yay! You speak my language. And you're talking about the banana flour. I was like, oh my God, because we have that here as well. Yeah.
I know, it's new here, but that's kind of in Durham, North Carolina. So we live in the Triangle. It's not big like where you live, not like New York or something, but we do have a lot of different specialty markets, which is wonderful. And when you go in there, you can learn so much. And no matter what place, I go to the Hispanic market and I see just bins of these beautiful dried peppers that I've never seen before. And I'm the crazy lady that's like, is this one spicy? And at the Indian market, if you stand there long enough, some nice little old lady will come and tell you how to cook whatever you're looking at. And I love that because it's a way to learn from everybody.
Yeah.
And when I was in grad school, my friend was from Singapore, so she introduced me to some things, and so I still have the curry powder she gave me that I use for Singapore noodles, the little rice noodles.
Yeah.
And just all it takes is one little thing to kind of open up your mind. And with us on lockdown, we don't get to go so many places.
Yeah.
But you can go everywhere in your kitchen.
That's so nice. Do you remember what brand it was of the curry powder that your Singapore?
Let me see. I have one now. I think this is pretty. Is this no? This is not the right one. No, this is not the right one. I don't remember. I thought I still had some, but I don't. I have like in the cabinet. I have some. I have a whole spice drawer that's this big, and then I have 2
Wow.
bins of Indian spices in the pantry.
Wow, 2 bins.
Well, you know, when you buy, everybody worries about buying so much, but it costs maybe $5 or $6 to get like that much. But in the grocery stores here, sometimes to get a bottle like this is $8
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even smaller.
Mm.
And you don't get to learn about things like black cardamom,
Mm-hmm.
which is, it's like magic. Like it's so smoky and almost a little sweet at the same time. I just,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
what do
yeah.
you usually use it in?
My desserts or sometimes in drinks. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. So my raw desserts and drinks, or even in like cookies sometimes. Yeah, usually my raw cakes.
Mm.
Yeah, raw cakes and then drinks and then the cookies. And I'm trying to think whether I used it in. I might have used it in some savory dishes as well. I think I use it in my payasam, which is a dessert. Yeah, more for desserts, more for the
Okay.
sweet things and all that. Yeah.
Tell me about one of these drinks that you would make.
Um, I think I'm trying to remember because yeah, like you said, I come up with so many recipes and then I can't remember off the top of my head.
I do
But
understand that.
yeah, yeah, it's most probably like some kind of masala chai kind of thing, and then I put the cardamom in as well. But I know I've made like cookies and because I have a course on dessert pizza. And then there's a sauce that I make with fresh young coconut meat. And I think I put coconut nectar, young coconut meat. And then I put a bit of cardamom as well. So it's like kind of like a cardamom drizzle over dessert pizza. So yeah,
Ooh,
that's what I used it for recently. That's what I
that
remember.
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That I wish
Yeah.
you were closer so you could bring me some.
I think whenever I see all my, my raw vegan chefs making food, I'm always like, oh, I wish you guys were closer so I could, get onto your meal prep plans or order food or something like that. Because I mean in Malaysia we have vegan chefs, but for raw vegan there's not that many. Yeah. And
I
they
think
tend
even here it's not as common. So like we have several vegan restaurants,
hmm
but getting raw vegan is harder.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I remember when I was traveling, oh, this was in London. I think I was trying to look for raw vegan places to go, but they told me that most of the raw vegan restaurants have closed because it wasn't popular and wasn't trendy
Mm.
anymore. It was maybe in like 2012, 2013, 2014. That was when it was quite popular, and then now it's less, unfortunately. So yeah, I haven't
Oh,
had the
that's a
chance to really.
shame.
Yeah, yeah. But
Oh,
have you tried making anything? Have you tried out any of the recipes in the bundle yet? I'm just curious.
I've made some of nutmeg notebooks salads. Like, you know, she had those
Mm.
croutons. So she
Oh
made
yeah,
chickpea
yeah, yeah.
croutons and then she took the white Hannah sweet potatoes, cooked them, cut them in half, dipped them in everything bagel spice,
Oh
which is
yes, yes.
okay, you guys, which is like poppy seeds, sesame seeds, garlic, onion, and stuff like that. And then she toasted them as a crunchy element to her salad. Um, but I'm looking forward to trying a lot of her salad dressings. And Tiffany made an amazing salad dressing. She just used like, it was like strawberries and herbs and a little bit
Oh
of
yeah, I did
balsamic
that.
vinegar.
I made that. Yeah.
Oh
It
my
was so
God.
simple and it worked so well, right?
And it's so good. And that's the thing too, like it's wonderful to try all these new things, but realize that a lot of things that you think are complicated are just so easy.
Yeah, I was going like, oh, it's just 3 ingredients. It's I think strawberries, chia seeds, balsamic vinegar, and a bit of water.
Yeah.
And then I made that was the from the rainbow sprouted salad in a jar. So I made that on Friday, and then on Saturday when we went out to the park, I brought the two jars, the salad jars to eat in the park, and my boyfriend enjoyed it as well. So that was good. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. There's so many I have queued up for the future too, because with the bundle, like this is my second interview today. Tomorrow
Mm.
I'm doing one. I've been doing like 2 or 3 a day. And so because of that, I haven't been able to dig into the bundle like I
Yeah,
want.
yeah. I get what
Um,
you mean.
but I think it's so cool because no matter what your interests are, if you're into raw vegan, cooked vegan, just want to find some things that are less expensive, meal prep
Mm-hmm.
salads, which works for everybody. The
Yep.
doctor stuff, like you said, Jill Newsonell's
Yeah.
breathing. Jill Newsonell is a friend of mine, so I know she has an Instant Pot and a breathing thing,
Yep.
and then all the doctors. So if you're in it for health, self care,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, there's something for you. This I've been in other bundles before that were
Mm-hmm.
really nice, but nothing that was this varied, and nothing
Yes,
that brought the
that's right.
plant-based community together so much. Like, I really appreciate Chef AJ and having, because behind the scenes, all of us have our own little Facebook group where we can help each other and find each other to do interviews and to demo and stuff. And I think it's made a really nice, warm family feeling too. And you get to
Yeah.
meet new people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Wow. Hello, Haring. So Cordyceps says alone, hashtag absolute, and then MCT. And someone named Think Positive just joined. That's so cute. Yeah.
No,
So I was just curious, where did you learn how to cook?
it's a great question. So I became vegetarian in 1983.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
And yeah, like you can find anything. So you can get
Mm.
tofu at the grocery store, and like we would go to people's houses that would have like these underground health food stores and in like their living rooms. It's a very funny time. So, um, and I stopped eating meat because I started cooking. I didn't start cooking till then, and I was like, yeah, no. If I look back, I can see from the time I was like 4 or 5, I was going to be vegetarian pretty quickly. I've been vegan
Mm.
now for about 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that process happened too. So don't worry about that. Um, and then I learned how to cook out of a book called Moosewood by Molly Katzen, which was then there wasn't a lot of vegan and vegetarian cookbooks. The
Mm-hmm.
internet wasn't here yet. I know
Mm.
you can't
Yeah.
imagine that. And and so I just kind of had to experiment. When I went to grad school, I was poor, and I had worked in a co-op, so I had this giant box as big as me full of like whole grains and beans, and I had a slow cooker, and I cooked for everybody. And that's really
Right.
where I feel like I trained up a little bit. And then I've just always been curious and learning to make new things. And I had a
Mm-hmm.
job about 12 or 13 years ago that was really boring. I was a web
Mm-hmm.
developer. I got a new job. I had an office,
Oh, okay.
all this stuff. But like literally, I copied and pasted things in different
Oh, really?
languages. So even though I don't read um, Thai, Korean, and Japanese and Chinese, I can tell the difference because I had to copy and paste them into tables every week. And I was like,
Oh.
this is killing me, but it's a really good job. So I started my blog, Healthy Slow
Mm-hmm.
Cooking, because I wanted to do
Mm.
a book, and then a publisher found me. So my blog
Mm.
had only been up a few months. This was a long time ago. And they had been looking for someone to do vegan slow cooker recipes.
Ah,
And
okay.
that's how I learned how to make recipes. I had to make 125 in 4 months, plus work a
Wow.
full-time job.
Wow, that's crazy.
It is. And there were nights I was just laying in bed and like a tear would leak out my eye. Like, what have I done? How
Oh
is this even
no.
possible? Um, but I really ended up enjoying it, and I've written a book most years ever since then. They've been traditionally published. I'm working on one, and I'm working on one that I'm going to self-publish and possibly another one that I'm going to do an ebook on soon on my own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Interesting.
I like taking the pictures and developing the recipes and working with testers. So I have a group of
Mm.
volunteer testers that make everything better and have wonderful ideas. Like that, it was one of my testers, Mary, that I started adding in ground chia seeds, honestly.
Mm.
And so I get to learn so much from them, and they help me and they make it a better book. And then it's just a lovely community experience in a way too. And when I'm getting ready, I also wanted to check this and see if yeah,
It's
that's,
thickened up, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's thickened up some, maybe a little bit more, but I think that's totally doable. And I wonder too, and this would be an experiment for you, if it has so much oats in it, if we use less water, because I'm putting more liquid in there because I know it's going to reduce and be
Mm.
absorbed some by the oats. I
Yeah.
wonder if you put it on a dehydrator for a period of time, if it would thicken in there.
Yeah, it would definitely. Because I've made some, I mean, like some Asian, I've come up with like, now that I think about it, I think I've made a hoisin sauce. And what I did was I put it into the dehydrator for it to thicken up. But I mean, you need to wait maybe like 12 hours.
Is it on your site? You're gonna have. Will you email me the link to that? Because I want to try and make it.
Oh, it's in one of my courses. I think I don't know whether it was my, I don't think you've been to Malaysia before, but there is a state up north in Malaysia, called Penang, and Penang is very well known for their food. And I think I used that for one of the recipes, one of the Penang recipes. I can't remember which one, but yeah,
Oh,
there's that. I think it's either that or the Vietnamese course. I'm not
I'll
sure.
I'll
Yeah.
definitely check that out. And it's interesting because I don't know anything really about Penang food culture at all. So, but the one way I know that word is it's used as a Thai curry style, Penang curry. Is it
Uh,
the same
it's
or
spelled differently. The one that I'm referring to is Penang, which is the state up north in Malaysia.
okay?
And you're I know what you're referring to. You're referring to Panang,
Okay.
which is a Thai curry, which I also like very much. I used to travel to Thailand quite a bit. In fact, I've done I think I did one raw food demo in Bangkok, and I did one raw food demo in Chiang Mai as well. And then I took a Thai cooking class since I was there in Chiang Mai just for the fun of it. Yeah, so I think I'm not sure whether we make a Penang curry, but we did do a few curry bases. So I know we did the green curry, we did the red curry. We might have done the masamam curry and maybe the Penang, I'm not sure. Yeah,
Yes.
but yeah. But Thai food, amazing.
Yes, it is. I can't disagree with you on that. I made a drunken noodles recently because we can't get out. Some of my students asked me to kind of do like international dinner stuff. So obviously it's not
Mm.
authentic, but it's no oil. It's vegan. You know what I mean? So just know that I'm not trying to make it that, but I did go to. We have a H Mart near me,
Uh-huh.
which is like a Korean grocery store, and I
Oh yeah,
found
yeah.
because I go to Li Ming's, which is the Asian grocery store right near me, and they have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things, but H Mart is like huge. It's so big, and I found some Thai condiments that I hadn't found before, and this one had holy basil and chili in
Mm-hmm.
it. Because
Mm-hmm.
usually we just get the Thai basil, we don't see as much of the holy basil. But my friend
Mm.
grows it in her garden and gives it to me. Um,
Oh,
and it was such a treat, and I love learning about other cuisine. And sometimes I worry, like when I do travel, like you have to ask so many questions. So did you find when you went to Thailand that you had to ask a lot of questions, or did they kind of know what vegan was?
I think because it was organized by the one in Chiang Mai was organized by vegan group meetup, so they know what it is. And the other one in Bangkok, she wasn't vegan, but we went to Matthew Kenny at the same not at the same time, at different times. But I'm trying to remember. Not everyone was vegan there. Yeah, but in Thailand, because we were in Bangkok, which is like the capital, so most people knew what veganism was and all that. So yeah, that would have been easier. I'm wondering, so like, can you get things like torched ginger flour or galangal?
Galangal, yes, I can get
Yes,
that, and the lime leaves,
and the
lemongrass.
yeah, macrut. Is it macrut? Well, we call it cafe lime leaves here, but I've been told that it's politically incorrect to say that.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's.
why. That's
But
why
we've
I just
always
said
called it
lime.
that here.
Yeah, I think where we live, it doesn't mean something bad, but where in Thailand, I think it means something
Oh,
not
so
as nice.
right.
Um,
I think they call it macrut lime
mac-
leaves.
that's
Yeah,
right.
macrut lime leaves
Now I
and
can get fresh banana blossoms, but I don't know
mm.
about like torch. Did you say torch bananas?
It's called torch ginger flower, as in the flower, not the
Oh, I've
yeah
not seen ginger flower, but I wonder if it's
yeah.
seasonal. I Now one thing in North Carolina, we do grow some small ginger, and you can get it at the farmers market. Some of the local farmers will grow it, and
Mm.
I have to see, what do you make with ginger flower?
The Thai food uses that, and also the Malay dishes we use a lot of that. We use the fresh ones. You know, it's pink. It's like a I don't know. It's like a spear. Yeah, and it's a pink
Oh,
part. So
yeah, we call it, oh, like, but you're saying not banana flower, ginger
no,
flower.
it's
Ginger
called
flower.
yeah, it's torch ginger flower. And I think
Torch.
because when I spoke to some of the chefs, like the Malaysian chefs who are not in Malaysia, they say it's actually kind of hard to find. But I think I know there's one company in Australia, they dry it up, so they sell it as a dried version, and then you just need to dehydrate it. But yeah, that's something I find that it's hard to find whenever I travel. Yeah, out of Southeast Asia. It's used a lot in Southeast Asian cooking.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
try it because I bet I can find it at H Mart. Like H Mart's grocery stuff, and like I would love to visit Malaysia or anywhere. And the first thing I like to do is to go to the markets or the stores so I can see all the things that people
Yeah.
have. It's so
Yeah.
amazing. But
Yeah.
there's always stuff. I always pick a few things that I don't know what they are. I take a picture and then I try to research them and then maybe go back and get them. But I'm gonna look for the ginger
Yeah.
now.
I'll send you a link to so yeah, I'll look for a picture and I'll send you a link to that so you can check that out because that has like a really interesting fragrance. I think you would really enjoy working with that. Yeah.
And I love floral flavors, so like cardamom,
Mm-hmm.
coriander. I don't know if you guys have Mexican oregano because there's like Greek oregano, Italian oregano, Mexican oregano. Has a little bit of lemon and floral. It's almost in between Italian oregano and marjoram.
Ah,
And
okay.
I love marjoram because again, even though it has those darker herbally notes, it still has a little bit of that light, bright florals. I cook with lavender and rose and
Oh,
things like
nice.
that too.
Yeah. I'll need to check that out. Because I think the one that I have, the oregano I have, I think it's Italian. Yeah, so yeah. Because I saw you talk about celery seed as well, and that's something I haven't actually tried yet. So
Oh, and I can show you what it I can let's see, I think I have both. Here's some that's not ground up. And it's just like when the celery plant goes to seed.
mm,
Let's see. Can you no, you can't see that. You can't see that either. They're teeny tiny, like smaller than poppy seeds.
oh, okay. All right.
And you know how celery smells, kind of bright?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
smells like that, but in just here you can see that.
Ah,
There we
okay.
go.
Okay, yes, I can see it.
Sorry.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, I was just looking it up online yesterday to see whether I can get it here. I can, but I haven't tried that yet because I think you were talking about like salt substitutes, right?
Well, yeah, and here's the thing, celery actually has natural sodium.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so the celery seeds really do make it taste like salt. And I usually
Mm,
put onion powder and garlic powder in there too, because that hits those places on the palate that salt does.
mm.
So it kind of makes you feel the bite.
Yeah. But do you get any requests for no onion, no garlic? Because
Yes. And I've
where I
had,
am, they're all there's a huge vegetarian community here, and they because of religious
yep.
reasons, a lot of them don't don't eat garlic and salt. So not sorry, garlic and onions or any of the alliums, they're all allium free. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm always wondering like, oh, okay, so how do you go about that then?
Oh, easy peasy. So Indian, because I think that, I'm not sure where the religion came from, but it's also a lot of that in India. So
Yes,
they
correct.
they have a spice called hing, and I'm going to,
Ah, right. Yeah.
or asafoetida.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
know how close I am, so I apologize.
It
I can't.
correct, correct. Yeah, it's
Okay,
asafoetida. Yeah.
like I can't say English words either. So um, I read a lot, which means I don't pronounce everything. And so that is actually used to kind of substitute for that. So there's a couple things you need to
Mm,
know. You're going to use a tiny pinch,
yeah.
and it's going to smell
Yeah.
nasty. Okay, like it smells. It's not nice when it's raw. You're going to put just a pinch in and then warm it up. So I would definitely put it in something I was going to put in the dehydrator,
Mm-hmm.
because it does
Mm-hmm.
need to be just tempered ever so slightly. It doesn't need to be
Right.
like cooked down or anything.
Yeah.
And that's going to give you those onion garlicky flavors. So the people who traditionally do that kind of way of eating have done that. Also, then some people have trouble with their stomachs, and then garlic and onion mess up with their stomach.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's
you can
right.
get a little jar. If you are gluten intolerant like I am, you can get it. It usually comes with gluten to keep it from separate. Yeah, to keep it separate. You can find
Oh.
gluten-free version, but you should look very carefully on the label. Then the other thing that's weird is, it's this little bottle, and if you just put it in your pantry, your whole pantry and possibly the room next door is going to smell like it. So I put it in 3 different Ziploc bags and then in a closed container,
Ah, okay. All
because
right.
I've
Yeah.
I've told some people to get it and they just threw it out because they're like, this can't be right. So if you do that first and then try it, because it does bring these amazing flavors. And we actually, if you eat a lot of Indian food, and I love Indian food, a lot of times some of the complex flavor can come from like kala namak or
Yeah.
from hing or something like that
Yeah.
that you can't necessarily detect. Though
Yeah.
mustard seed makes some awesome flavors in there too.
Mm, mm.
Have
Yeah.
you used hing before?
I have a little bit, yeah, I have some, but like you said, because it's really pungent. So I just use a tiny little bit and it's
Yeah.
so strong. So and I was like, oh, this is what I've been tasting all this while in the Indian food that I've been eating. It's like that's what it is. Yeah, but I haven't used it recently because just I think just because it's a bit hard to get as well. I mean it's easy to get here in Malaysia because we have Indian stores everywhere, so that's really easy. But I think when I have an international audience and it's slightly harder. So it's interesting to know that you can get it and you can get a gluten-free version as well. So I was like,
Yeah, I found
yeah.
some in a store. So we have a lot of Indian markets because we have Durham has the RTP area, which is very technical. So a lot of people
Ah,
do come
okay,
over.
okay.
So like
Right.
maybe there's 10 really nice Indian markets there. I mean, like we have a lot and a lot
Wow.
of restaurants. So, but even in Lee Ming's, which is the small kind of, it's it's Asian, but it's like Durham's market. So they have like an aisle of Indian, and they have a little bit
Ah,
of Hispanic, though the
right,
concentration is that they also have it. It's one of
right.
the common Indian spices. And I would check where you are, but on Amazon it's really easy to get. I would think you guys will be able to get a lot of those things. I'm finding more Indian grocery items that are organic as well, like
Mm,
spices and
yeah.
grains.
For spices, I can get because there is one brand here in Malaysia that does a lot of organic Indian spices. So now I can get that. But yeah, yeah, it was really interesting. So okay, Kathy, I think we'll wrap up now. It's already been an hour. Thank you so much for thank you so much for your demo. Maybe just like do you just want to tell us like so what would we use the sauces on?
Sure, and you could use it on anything you want, but like,
Yeah.
okay, let me try and think raw, like, because you can make crackers and kind of
Mm,
chips and things in the dehydrator, so you could make
yeah.
nachos with this,
Yeah. Yeah.
with maybe making some corn or wheat dehydrated crackers, which you would be better
Yeah.
to explain.
Yeah,
And
there's
then,
actually a corn chip recipe, raw corn chip recipe in Dude Food in the bundle. So if anybody wants to do that, they can make that to go with
oh,
your
nice.
sauce.
That
Yeah.
would be great. Yeah, and because then what
Yeah.
I would do too is what I usually do is just pile them up with veggies too, lettuce
Mm,
and just chop fresh vegetables, and then
yeah.
just dip them in the sauce. And it's kind of like a treaty salad. You could look at it
Mm,
like that.
mm,
Um, but what else could, often I put things like that, which is not raw. So if you're not raw, you could put them on your
yeah.
potatoes, your
Yeah.
vegetables, anything like that. But zoodles,
Yeah, I think zoodles will be cool as well. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sometimes I get carrots that are too thin when I'm trying to zoodle them and they just make those little curves. So I figure it could be
Hmm.
like carrot mac and cheese
Oh yeah,
like that.
nice.
And you could do
Nice.
that on the raw version as well. I have a creamy sauce, which is similar to this, and I usually put rosemary, maybe a little poultry seasoning, and some sage, and that's amazing over butternut squash noodles.
Mm,
But
nice.
you'd have. I wonder. I bet you could dehydrate those in the dehydrator, and they could still be. You would know more than me, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I think it might work.
Yeah.
But
I should check it out. But I guess I mean if people want to um Lisa of Raw Food Romance actually has a dips and dressing. So if if people just want you know a straightforward raw vegan recipe, they can just go there. And then those who are cooking, they can get it from you. Because I mean like I just had another student who bought it and then she was asking me because there's so many things in the bundle, what should she check out? And I asked her like, do you want it are you looking for raw or cooked? And she said mostly cooked. So I think it's quite interesting. Like people who follow me are not necessarily raw vegan. It's just that I think they just want to eat healthier, or they're transitioning to plant-based, so they just want more ideas. So
well,
your
I
cooked
think the
stuff will be
thing.
great for them.
Okay, and the thing is too is though even though I'm not a raw vegan, I'm going to eat some of your things. Like I'm imagining in my head right now if I could get to be in Malaysia for a little while and I could eat all your food, that would be delightful. But I think when you're going whole food plant based, you are adding salads, you are adding raw things, even if you're still keeping some cooked food or not. I just don't
Yeah.
want anyone to feel like I'm trying to persuade them over to the cooked side. That's all. Because like to me, options are everything. And so I have people that are plant-based, people that are vegan. I even have some people who aren't even vegetarian yet who come to me for my vegan recipes
Mm-hmm.
because you want to eat more vegetables? I'm here
Mm.
to help you. I don't care about any of that. And I try to take care whatever somebody's dietary limitation is, just like if someone can't have nutritional yeast, let's talk about that. If someone can't have onions and garlic, like
Mm.
that's where my passion comes in, is that I can have one recipe, but 10 different groups of people can still enjoy it with little tweaks.
Oh, that's nice. You're so inclusive.
I try my best because if everybody was coming to my house for dinner, I would make all those tweaks, right?
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's
All
been
right.
such a pleasure to get to chat with
Yes.
you and such a treat. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Yeah, thank you so much, Kathy. So, I don't think we see any more questions. So, to wrap it up, if anybody has questions, you guys can always comment on the replay. Tag me and Kathy, and we'll help answer you. And just remember the bundle is only $49 for 112 pieces of content, which are cooking classes, fitness workouts, there's lectures, there's loads of trainings, there's courses, there's eBooks. And it's only going on for the next 3 days. It ends on 2nd of March. So if you guys are interested, either click in Kathy's link in bio or click on my link in bio and get it before it's gone. Yeah. Okay,
Well,
so do you
just
have any last things to say? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, have a wonderful beginning of your week, and I hope your week
Thank
is
you.
amazing.
Thank you. Have a good night, and I'll see you another time. Maybe I would love to get onto your show if you are still interviewing people after the bundle is over. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Absolutely, I would love to do that. Very much so. So
All right, cool.
I'll contact you week after next.
Okay, let's do that. Thank you so much, Kathy, and thank you, everyone. Bye.